Hello,
Hi,
welcome once again. This is Daniel and Esther Ebhohimen.
you're welcome to our channel.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Good to have you.
So we've been talking about our love story.
Yeah,
The first video we talked about how we met.
yeah,
And then the last one we talked about how we knew we were right for each other.
Yeah,
So right now I think I want to just glean from our courtship dating years.
okay.
You know, we courted for 4 years.
Yeah.
Did we date, by the way?
Well, we dated and courted at the same time. Yes, we did. We did.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, from the get go,
We already knew what we wanted.
we wanted.
Yeah, but we dated and courted together.
Yes, for 4 years. So a few lessons perhaps from our courtship dating years.
Okay.
All right. Number one, I think, is date purposefully.
Oh yes. You have to be intentional. Okay, there's no dating for dating's sake. Let's just try out and see. If you really don't even see any potential, what's the point?
Yes.
So from even when he asked me out, it was with an intention that this could end in marriage, and this is
Yes.
the intention of it. I mean,
Yes.
so date purposefully, don't just date for dating's sake. It's a time waster. All right, you're just going to waste your time if you do that.
Yes. I mean, for us, we kind of view the end goal.
Yeah.
And so we're already talking about our future,
Yes.
talking about what kind of future do we see,
Yes.
what's kind of our vision,
Yeah.
what kind of marriage or life in ministry are we envisaging.
And how our personal goals and dreams could intermarry each other.
Yeah.
And we were looking at that actively because we were already sharing what we saw ourselves doing, how our decisions kind of interrelate with each other.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what's the second thing for you?
I think the second thing is accountability. It goes without saying, okay, when you are in love, you cannot see everything. You cannot see 180 degrees, or should I say 360 degrees. So there are other people in your life that can see what you cannot see.
Yeah.
And so it's so important that you remain accountable. And accountability protects you more than you know.
Yeah.
And even when you make mistakes, accountability can still serve as the rudder that brings you back to, the center. It brings you
Yeah.
back to shape. Okay,
Yeah.
so you cannot do without
I
it.
mean, when we started our relationship, like we mentioned, we inform our family members
Yes,
and then leaders in church.
yes,
you
one or
know,
two people in church.
and then
Yes,
some of our close friends.
yeah,
So these people kind of just got us accountable
yes,
as the relationship evolved.
Yes,
And we maintained that accountability
yes,
up till marriage. Interestingly, even while we're married,
we're still
we're still
accountable
accountable.
because you never outgrow accountability.
Yeah, so that kind of helped us. You
Yeah.
know, even when there are mistakes, like you mentioned,
Yes.
accountability helps to protect you, helps to cover you.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't say this enough.
No, you can't overstate it.
A third thing I think that I just kind of gleaned from our courtship days is boundaries.
Oh yes.
I remember when we started our relationship, I had this book.
We had a book.
We had a book.
Our law book.
Where we put like rules and regulations
Yes.
about this relationship. Okay?
Yes.
There's do's and don'ts.
Yes.
All right. So one of them initially was we don't call each other by special names.
No pet names.
No pet names like baby, my
Yes.
love, sweetheart,
Yes.
and things like that.
Yes.
You know. So we had those initial rules and regulations
Yeah.
that kind of helped us. Obviously, as the relationship got deeper, some of those
Boundaries
things
were a bit
evolved,
relaxed. Yeah.
right? But we had boundaries about when to visit each other's houses and if we could visit,
Yes.
what time we wouldn't be together, and
Yes.
things like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
those boundaries, I think, are quite helpful.
Yeah, helpful.
Particularly because as believers and godly people, we want to maintain purity in our relationship.
Yes.
Purity is key for us. So having
Yes.
those boundaries are quite important
Very
during courtship. And
important.
just helpful for us as
Very
well.
important, and not just even sexually. Boundaries goes beyond sexual boundaries, emotional as well as financial boundaries as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes when people are in courtship, they act as if they're already married,
True,
so their
true.
monies are together and all of that, and then by the time the relationship doesn't work, it's a lot of mess. Okay, so
Yes.
you don't want to do that. You don't want to overcommit. There's such a thing called overcommitment. You don't want to overcommit. You take
Yes.
it one step at a time,
Yes.
one level at a time, and then until the relationship is consummated into
Yes,
marriage.
yes. I
Boundaries
mean,
are
and the thing
important.
is, when you are dating or courting, you are not yet husband and wife.
No, you're not.
So
You're
you
not.
actually don't go about
Don't
playing
don't act
husband and
like
wife, like
yes,
living together
yes.
or carrying out certain responsibilities,
Very important.
So I didn't demand certain things from you.
No, and I
Neither,
wasn't expecting you to
yes,
do certain things for
things. I
me. And
mean, it when times when I had to support you financially, it wasn't from a place of
I didn't put it as a I didn't it wasn't like an
like an
expectation.
obligation
No, it
for me.
wasn't. It wasn't. And that's why I appreciated it so much. I just thought it was a friend that was going out of his way to be there for me,
Interestingly,
and I
there were times
appreciated it
also
very.
when you also supported me financially. A
Yeah.
few times
Yeah.
when maybe I was broke for
But it
a
wasn't
little
like a
season.
big deal. It was something I could do for anybody I considered to be
Yes,
my friend.
yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't something out of the
So
blues.
boundaries are key. I
Yeah.
think another one would be getting counsel and being mentored
Consistently.
consistently. That
Yes.
is so key.
Yeah.
I mean, we just realized that we needed mentorship, we needed counseling, and thank God for our church.
Yeah.
Shout out to our pastors, Pastor
Yes.
David,
And
Dr. Kemi
beautiful.
Oyedepo,
Yes.
all our great leaders,
Leaders. Yes.
Deaconess Faith,
Yes.
Pastor
Pastor
David
Shiombade.
Shiobade, and a lot
Yes.
of other people back then
Yes.
who gave us
Yes.
counsel,
Yeah.
gave us correction. I
Yes.
remember one
Yes.
of our leaders then saying, "You guys are too close, man. Why are you guys acting as if you're husband and wife?"
No, but it was very necessary. It was very necessary for us because you don't even realize that you're overstepping a certain
Or you're going
boundary.
off track.
Yeah, or you're going off track because you're in love. Okay,
Yeah.
and so that mentorship is so important. That counsel is so important. The Bible
Yes.
says, "In the multitude of counsel,
There is
there is
safety.
safety." There
So
is safety.
mentorship is key.
It's very key.
Being guided along the line while you're dating courtship is key for us.
Yes.
This is apart from even premarital counseling,
Yes.
which is, I mean, maybe at some point we'll talk about that.
Yes.
We went through premarital counsel, but even beyond premarital counseling,
Yes.
just ongoing counsel,
Ongoing counsel.
getting
So
guidance.
asking people, even older couples, you remember Auntie Linda back then, older couples,
Deaconess
just
Linda,
yes.
Deacon Tunde Oyebisi.
Yes, so you just kind of ask them, okay, in this given situation, what do you do? What do you think? All right. So that they give you, I mean, they've been married, they've traveled miles beyond you, so they would know by experience how to do it. And that's not saying you have to swallow everything, hook, line, and sinker that everybody says to
Yeah.
you, but at least it gives you perspective and it gives you, some wisdom that you will not naturally have on your own.
Yes, it's the same. But godly counsel is good.
Yes.
From older couples,
Yes.
mentors,
Yes.
people who have gone ahead of you in marriage. That
Yes.
made a big difference for us.
Yes.
What's next?
Oh, learning. Never stop learning together. Never stop drinking in the well of knowledge together. Okay, for us, we read books. Sometimes we bought the same book, 2 copies of the same book, and would read them and would talk about them. All right. Sometimes we attended conferences together
Yeah.
or watched some video clips together and just talk to each other about it. I remember one book that during our courtship that I really enjoyed us reading together was this book by Dr. Gary Chapman, Things I Wished I Knew Before We Got Married.
Yeah.
That book was such a good book. Gave us a lot to talk about, gave us a lot to talk about. And
Yes.
very many other books like that
So
we
reading,
read.
learning is
Yes,
so
yes,
key.
yes.
Because in reality, while you're courting, you're preparing for marriage.
Uh-huh.
Particularly when you're sure this is the person you want to spend your life with.
Not just the wedding.
Not just the
For
wedding.
marriage.
You're preparing for the marital
The journey of
So
marriage,
you're
yes.
preparing spiritually, you're preparing mentally and emotionally.
Emotionally and otherwise.
Yeah. So reading, those
Yes.
books give you a lot of perspective.
Yes.
It gives you
Yes.
so much perspective.
That's right.
So that was quite helpful for us.
Yeah.
And then I would say be productive.
Yes.
Be productive. During our courtship season, I think we were quite productive. You were
Yes.
very involved with your fellowship in school.
Yes.
I mean, apart from you doing your BSc,
Yeah.
I was doing my master's.
Yes.
I was very busy with church as well.
Yes.
At some point, I started working in church as IT officer.
Yes.
You had your career. You were on with jobs.
I was working as well part time.
Yeah, so
And I
being
was very
productive.
involved in church. I was very involved in school fellowship, and at a point I got involved in school politics.
Yeah.
I was campaigning for a friend for the student union government.
Yeah.
So I was just doing a lot of things. The point is, don't hang your life on the relationship alone, because even after you get married, your life is not just the marriage. Okay,
Yes.
there's many layers to your life, and it's important that those layers are explored, those layers are developed, those layers are cultivated. Okay,
Yeah.
so that, because if you don't, even when you get married to that person, you will find that you will not be as fulfilled.
True.
Because marriage is not the end of the rope. Okay,
Yeah.
marriage is just a path. Okay, it's just a way. Okay, all right, to the journey, to the destination. Okay, and it should add to you. Okay, so pay attention to other areas of your life, your friendships. I had great female friendships.
Yes, Rhoda,
and to date, I mean, they are thrown in different parts of the world: the UK,
Kate,
East Africa, United States of
Mercy.
America. And I am still in touch with a number of them. We're still in each
Yes.
other's life, even though distance. But I cultivated those female friendships that today I
So
still
it's
feel from time
key.
to time.
So key that you're growing, you're productive
Yes.
as a person.
Yes.
You're not just giving your entire time
Investing.
and energy to the relationship, that you're not
Yes.
growing personally.
Yes.
So your spiritual life, your mental life, your emotional life, your social life,
yes,
relationships,
should thrive.
you're growing in other personal areas.
Very important.
Those
very
things
important.
made a big difference in our courtship
So
life.
we just thought to share with you. They're not all, but these are just 6 things I think that you should pay attention to when you're in courtship with your other half.
All right.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks for your time.
Please please subscribe, drop a comment, tell us if you have a question, drop a question, comments. Please feel free to do that. Let us know if we should keep doing videos like this. Thanks once again.
Bye.
Have a great time. Bye.
All right.